Hello and welcome to Dadvice. Thank you very much for stopping by. It's a special episode today because we are doing the first in a sort of mini series that I'm going to do, which I call DADVIEW. What that means is I'm basically going to take questions from you and I'll just give my thoughts and see what you think. I've said it many times before, but I'll say it again. I'm not a kind of qualified psychologist or doctor or anything like that. I am just a guy on the internet with some opinions, but I am willing to give you those opinions in the hope that they will help you with whatever query you might have. So first up on the chopping block today is a question that came through Instagram. You can follow me over there, by the way, at Dadvice Official. Question is this: how do you guide a child that wants to learn from their own experience, even if that experience will lead them to an unhappy outcome? My firstborn just started high school, and with the best will in the world to prep, she still chooses to follow her gut and do things last minute. Tough love or tough learning? Well, thank you very much for sending that question in. This is a question asking essentially, what is parenting? Like, where do you draw that line? Tell you what I found interesting about this question, and the part of it that kind of jumped out to me, which I think will be the part that kind of sheds the most light on this for you, is the way that the question is asked in terms of how do you guide a child that wants to learn from their own experience, even if it means that experience will lead them to an unhappy outcome. Now, in my view, what's going on here is you've got a dad who obviously wants the very, very best for his daughter, which is an amazing thing. So hats off to you on that one, sir. But they've made an assumption here, that whatever experience his daughter is going to pursue and the way that she likes to do things and the way that she sort of naturally gravitates towards getting stuff done is going to lead her to an unhappy outcome. The point that I wanted to get across was just to pick that part out and just point out you can't know that. To me, it sounds like I'm kind of like this guy in so much as I'm a real planner. So all the way through school and university and all that kind of stuff, I always got stuff done before deadlines. I hated having things hanging over me. That was the main thing. I've also always been quite organized because I'm so disorganized and forgetful that if I weren't really organized, my life would be just a total mess. For example, I always come home and put my keys in exactly the same place, because if I didn't do that, if I left them in my pocket, or sometimes I put them on the side, or sometimes they're in my jacket, I would never leave the house again, because I'm so forgetful that unless I follow things in the same order every day and I do things the same way, I'd be completely lost in space. It sounds like this guy's a similar sort of thing. He's a planner. He likes to kind of have things all lined up, get stuff done in advance. Yeah, I'm with you. That makes sense to me as well. However, that is our reality. That for us being ill-prepared, handing stuff in late, or cutting deadlines right to the wire, that would stress me out. It sounds like it would stress this guy out as well. Maybe that's the unhappy outcome that he's kind of referring to. But that doesn't mean that everybody sees the world the same way. And this is a topic that I have spoken sort of loosely about before. We make an assumption that our kids are going to kind of follow in our footsteps in one form or another, whether that's that you're into a particular sport or music or whatever, acting, whatever it might be. You just sort of assume that your kids will kind of follow in those footsteps. But this does extend out to sort of personality traits as well. So to answer this question, I would say two things. The first is that there's an element of just that is what being a parent is standing back and going, I know this is going to end in tears, but it's tears that have to be cried to an extent. And part of being a parent, in my opinion, is, forcing yourself to take that little step back. Not in every situation, obviously it's not always appropriate, but in general, to have the outlook that your kids kind of need to make their own mistakes and they need to work out what's a good idea and what's not such a good idea on their own. That's kind of what parenting is. And the second part to that is to say that, look, just because it's something that wouldn't work for you and that would lead to a bad outcome for you, it doesn't necessarily mean that it would lead to a bad outcome for them. I would say celebrate the fact that you have got a daughter who is clearly a free spirit. She's clearly able to work under pressure. There's a lot of positive stuff that comes out of this as well. Celebrate the positive stuff and accept that, we all walk our own path, and that can start when you're starting high school or it can start when you're 50, but either way, we all walk our own path here. I think the main thing is this: If she does it her own way and it all goes south, don't be that parent that's standing over there saying like, well, I did tell you so. Parenting as it is, that's when they need support more than anything else. But equally, if she's able to get by and she's able to have a great time at high school and do really well, doing it her way, celebrate that. That's an amazing thing in itself. So just enjoy it. I totally understand where this kind of question comes from. That's why I wanted to use it as the first one that I do on this kind of dad view series. Maybe you've had a sort of similar experience. Maybe you've got some more light that you can shed on this kind of question. If so, please do share it in the comments below. If you've got someone else that you think that this will resonate with, do go ahead and share the video with them. I'd really appreciate that. If your first time here, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and you can follow me over on Instagram at Dadvice Official. I'm gonna make more of these videos, so please, if you've got any queries, questions, send them in to me either on Instagram, or you can message me on here, leave it in the comments below, whatever's easiest for you. I will be back with some more Dadvice very, very soon. Until then, take it easy.